In this video, I'll explain you how to create decision tree with Python. The aim of this particular video is that after going through this video, you should be able to develop decision tree on your own using Python. In this video, I'll explain you how to read an external file with dialog box, how to create train and test split, how to create a decision tree on train data, and how to validate that decision tree on test data, how to visualize the tree, and especially I'm going to talk a lot about how do you get rid of this kind of problem, graphviz executable not found. I see on net many people are struggling on this kind of problem, so let me explain you that also as part of this particular video. So let's get going. Let's understand how will you read that file. So create a dialog box by which you can read, where you can get the file name. I'm going to use tkinter library, and tkinter has ask open file name. So when you are going to run this, and you see here title, I have put title as please select the CSV file of the data. That will come as a title of the dialog box. Please select the CSV file of the data. This is the data that I'm going to use here. One thing you need to understand, even after reading, it hasn't done anything, and this kind of prompt is still there. Actually, once you close this, this comes in, and you can see here file name variable has got created. Let me explain you data that I'm reading in this particular. So this is the data that has, and it has 1000 observations and some 32 variables. The last variable, the response variable, is the dependent variable, and here you have observations which is obviously of no use. Now let me explain you that this file name is just a string variable. How do you get the data frame? To get the data frame, you can print it, anyway it is available. When you print it, it will show you the file name here. I am going to use Panda Library, and Panda has command like pd.readcsv and file name. The moment I am going to run it, it will create DT data here, and you can see the DT data. So if you click on, it will come, it actually shows a colorful data frame, you know, observation, check account, everything has come here. And when the values are changing, you can see the color has changed. You take a look here, response, it is showing that color. And also what you need to understand, whatever is constantly varying, it is not changing. So it is little intelligently doing the coloring so that you can see the change in color. Now, once you have read the data, you can do various things to understand the data, like you can print the top 5 line here, or if you need the list of just the variable name, which is a very handy piece, you put 0 here. So obviously it is not going to print any observation, but it is going to print all the variable name. You can in fact print just the first top 5 value of a particular variable also, like I put response here in the quotes, so it will put just the response variable, the 5 value, all those things. Describe is another command which is very handy, and it actually gives you summary of all the variables very quickly. So let's first create train and test split. So what I'm going to do on DT data, I'm putting 0 to 700. And what you need to understand, when I'm putting 0 to 700, actually it will not take the 700th observation. So it will take 0 to 699. And that's how you'll get the 700 observations in DT train. So if you click on, you know, the observation number, because it was 0 is for 1, so you will essentially see the last one, 700 has come here. And when I'm going to say DT test 700 to 1000, it will get the another 300. So if you could, you find DT test here which has got 300, and you can see it is starting from 701 and going till 1000, and index wise it is going from 700 to 999 index wise. So that's how we created train and test split. I can say these are my x variable and I have put that in the square bracket. So if you run it, it is just giving you, sorry, I have unfortunately run something else. Let me just run it once again. So here I created the x variable. Now how to develop decision tree? To develop decision tree, we will use this particular library sklearn. Sklearn actually stands for scikit-learn. And what you do here, you essentially create a blank tree here. So if you look at, you are saying CL tree, tree decision tree classifier, criteria Gini, random state 100, maximum depth 4, and minimum sample leaf should be 15. At least 15 observations should be in each leaf. So when you are running, it will actually create a model which has nothing right now. It is just a blank file. You can say it's like a control statement. Now you say cl_tree.fit, and here I am saying dt train x variable. So this is giving me all the independent variable, and I am saying response variable. So if you take a look, the way I have created x var, it has all the variable other than the first variable, which was the observation number, and the last variable, which was the response. So when I am going to run this, it will create a decision tree. Now how will you apply this decision tree on the test data? That is pretty simple. You can say cl_tree.predict, and here you say dt test x vars. So you are saying take x variables of the decision tree and put that in the pred. So pred will get the list of which is the prediction based on the model that got developed on this dt train data. So now your pred is ready, right? So CL tree is not defined. Let me just run it. I think I probably didn't run it. Oh, I probably missed to run this particular point. Let me just run this whole thing once again. So looks like it is done. Let me just check it here. So it is there, and now this time you can see pred has come. Now let's check it that how the pred is doing in comparison of the test response, which is the actual dependent variable. So pred is the predicted and test is response is the actual. So make a cross tab and take a look. So it looks like response 01 and this is the predicted one. So looks like, for response 1, it is out of 182 plus 25, it is doing good for 182 only, making mistake at these 58 it is saying wrongly, and for actual 0 it is saying, for 35 it is saying 0, 58 it is saying 1, and so it is making mistake at these two places, this place and this place. So if you look at what is actually 0, it is calling 58 as 1, and what is actually 1, it is calling 25 as 0. So that's how the mistake is happening. Let's visualize the decision tree. To visualize the decision tree, you use this export.graphviz method of the tree, and also you use pi.plus. Pi.plus is something that usually you do not install the moment you download Anaconda distribution. So what I'll suggest, you can go to always Python prompt, Anaconda prompt, and here you can type pip install pi.plus, and that's how you'll get this. So let me just show you quickly. So here it is like, if you're not getting pi.plus, if you run it, if you're saying it is not available, you will have to say pip install, and then you will have to give the full name. If you do that, it will just run it and get it everything. It is already in my PC, so I'm not going to install it. So when you run this command, actually what it is doing, it is creating the array of the observations, array of the detail, and here it is going ultimately into the graph. Now one thing you need to understand, this graphviz is one particular thing that will be used for developing the decision tree visualization, and it gives you lot of trouble because usually graphviz is not installed in your PC. And even if you do py install graphviz, it actually just installs the Python program of the graphviz. It doesn't install the actual exe file that you require. For that, what I'll suggest, you need to download this graphviz file from this particular location. You can choose other location as well, but I have used this particular location. This is pretty good. So this is the location, and I downloaded this particular file. One more thing, even after downloading, it will actually not work because you need to create the path environment variable. Let me show you what I have done there. So here you will have to right click, go to properties. In the properties, you have to go to advanced settings. Advanced settings will take you to the environment variables, and environment variables, what I have done, I have gone here and after pressing new, I created this variable which is path. Let me show you how it looks like. So I've given variable name as path, and I've given the complete location of the exe file which is used for the graph creation. This is a very important piece due to which I was struggling for some days, and in fact I was able to do only with help of some of my friends. So once you are done, this is as simple as that. The moment you run it, it will create the file. So it has created the image, but you might see that it is not here, but actually it is here. You will have to scroll and you can see it. Actually in the beginning it looks like a blank, but it's not. Essentially it's there. I have saved this already. So let me show you how the graph looks like. So first variable that has come important is chk account, and the value is 1.5. If it is true, means the value is chk count is less than 1.5, it is going here. If it is not, it is going this side. And that's how the second variable which has at this level, it is duration 22.5. If it is less than 22.5, it is going this side, true this side, false this side. That's how it is doing. It is giving you how many observations are here and how many good, how many bad, that kind of thing. In 700 it is saying 493 is one kind, 207 is another kind. So that's how I was able to develop the decision tree on this particular data and visualize it as well. One more thing you need to understand, this, if you are not giving feature equal to exvars, what it will do is essentially it will create a graph something like this. Let me just show you. It will show you x1, x2, something like that. x1, x2, x22, all those things. So if you want to get the actual name of variable, what I'll recommend, use these features, because these features will ensure that it is giving you the name of the actual variables, which is good, as well as sometimes it can cause problem for you if the variable name are bigger. I hope it helped you to understand how to read the file, how to create train test, how to develop decision tree on the train data, how to validate on the validation data, and how to create the visualization. Please subscribe to my channel so that you can get to know when I upload new videos.